Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Stamping with Tanya Vidalka. Today we're going to make this Christmas card using elements out of the regular Stampin' Up! Catalog as well as the mini catalog. I saw this card on a Facebook group called Simply Stamp It, and Vicki Tellett did this card, and I thought, well, let's try making this. It's really pretty, and I have everything to make it, so let's get started. So we are using this stamp set called Festive Foliage, and we are going to emboss it on Evening Evergreen cardstock. So you're going to ink this up and put gold embossing powder on the background. I'll just show you what I've done. I've pre-done the embossing part because it is loud, and most people know how to do that. So you ink up the stamp with the Versamark ink pad, and then I have all of my gold embossing powder here, and then I heat it with my heat gun. So I've also done that for the greeting. That is Merry Christmas, and this is on cherry cobbler paper, and that is using the stamp set from the Poinsettia and Petals. It is right here. Oops, sorry, I've got ink all over everything. And then we are using the dies from that coordinates with this Poinsettia Petals, and it is called the Poinsettia Dies, and we are using the dies of the Poinsettia here. And as you can see, I have my dies held together with some washi tape. So that means I can cut and emboss the veins on the leaves and on the petals all at the same time. I don't know if you can see that. So I've washi taped all of my pieces together so that when I run them through the Stamp and Emboss machine, it's all there. So I've cut out my poinsettia, so these three in the cherry cobbler, and then I've cut out 3 leaves, so 1 small one and 2 large ones. This is pear pizzazz. So I've also washi taped my leaves together. So just a tip, and that way when you run it through your machine, nothing moves on you or falls apart. Just to keep it simple. So that's what I do with those. So let's get started building the card. And I'm going to start with the background here. And I'm going to use my stamping seal to adhere it to my card base. So my card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 in the middle. And it is pear pizzazz. This layer here is Evening Evergreen, and it's a new in color, and it's a really pretty color for Christmas. So like I said, I've embossed this with the gold, and now I'm going to set this unit aside. What I've done to add some depth and some different colors without doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff is I've taken my cherry cobbler ink pad and a finger dauber, and I've gone around the edges like this. So it just adds some depth, and a poinsettia plant isn't completely all one color. There's dark spaces and lighter spots. So I've done that. So you do this to all 3 of your different sizes of your poinsettia. So I'm going to quickly do this, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So it doesn't, if you've missed a spot, it's not a big deal. So I'm just going to finish this. And so you're going to do this also with your leaves. I've done it. It just adds some depth. And I'm going to do the pear pizzazz with the Evening Evergreen because I like the darker green on the lighter green, and I just preferred it. And you can try whatever you like and experiment. It's just paper. You can use both sides of the paper. If you make a mistake, it goes for recycle. So quite easy. So I've done the outside of my poinsettia, and now I'm going to take the Evening Evergreen ink pad, and I'm going to do the same around the leaves. And you can see this just a little bit better. And you can do these in any color combination. I like traditional Christmas colors, but I also like pinks with browns, and so it just depends on the day and the mood I'm in. So one more to go. And the other tool you're going to need is a scoring tool. You can use your take your pick tool, or you can, if you have an older stylus from before, I'm going to use my old one. Now what I've done with the leaves, and so that it's a little bit more 3D and they curl up a little bit, is I take this little tool and I take the thicker end, and I'm just going to press lightly, and I have a piercing mat underneath, and I'm just going to go along here and give it a little press so that it folds up and it gives it some dimension. So, and don't press too hard because you'll rip through the paper like I just did. Now on the poinsettia, if you flip it over to the back side, if you just go along the edge, it will just add some depth, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And then it will see, you can start to curl a little bit. And then once you've done that, you take your ball and you make it into a ball, and it will start to jump up like that. Okay, so this is just adding some depth without being crazy, and it's very simple, and you don't have to curl it with the scissors, just use what you have. And then flip that over and then ball it like that, and then again on the back of this one. So you do this to all your pieces, except for the leaf, I did it on the front, okay? I love flowers. I love making flowers. This is a flower to me. And then flip it over and then ball it again so that it stands. I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't lay flat anymore. Okay, so now we're going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to use some small ones to put it together. So on the small one, place one on the back, and then place it miscued on the medium one like that, and then flip it over, and then on the medium put another little one, and then line it up like that. Now the next layer you can glue directly to your card, but I love dimensionals, so this would be a card that I would hand deliver, because I don't want it to get wrecked in the mail. So I placed a large dimensional on the back of that. Now I've pre-cut out my Merry Christmas, and all I did was I fussy cut it. I like to fussy cut, it just adds different dimension, and not everything has a die or a punch to it. So I just kind of went like this around the Merry Christmas. So to ease time for you, I like to be mindful, and I don't want you to watch a half-an-hour video. So I just cut out the Merry Christmas like this. And then I'm going to add some small dimensionals on the back of that. I originally had done the Merry Christmas in the evening evergreen, but then when I placed it on the card, it just blended in way too much for my liking. So I did it in the cherry cobbler, and I like the look of it. It's very pretty. So I'm going to miscue this one to the right a little bit, and then I'm going to add some adhesive. I've cut out from the dies as well. This is just the gold foil paper in the berries. You can use the more delicate one, but this one is quite pretty. Oh, let's do our leaves first, because it is quite delicate, and this just adds more space. I found the other ones just kind of got lost a little bit too much. So just tuck in your leaves underneath, and because we dimensionalized the poinsettia, they just tuck in there quite nicely. So then you just tuck in your berries however you like. I don't know where this is going to go. Maybe we'll just add 2 today. And we'll add one down here. There we go. So there is that. And we need a center for our poinsettia, and our card will be done. So I am using the gold glitter rhinestones, and I'm just going to place it in the middle. You can use whatever embellishment you want in the center. And there. So there is my beautiful poinsettia card for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more videos on my channel. I do post quite often. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Happy crafting, everybody.